Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and today we've got a treble celebration. First of all, we're finishing them all today with part 11, going up here to complete our wonderful tiki bar. Second of all, we're joined by DJ Kanaka, who will be running the build today. And thirdly, we've hit the wonderful 30,000 subscribers on the channel, which is an absolutely amazing achievement, if I do say so myself. Something that I didn't think I would ever actually achieve. So I'm very happy indeed with that. So yeah, good times. Let's get started, as ever, with your amendments from last time. Well, there were quite a few suggested amendments from last time, and one of the most popular was giving the monkey on the top of our wonderful 3D sign with palm trees a cocktail of his very own. And there's all sorts of different variations you suggested, but I thought this goblet sort of style wine glass was quite big and noticeable against what will be the white walls of the Lego room. So I think that would show up best, and he looks very happy with that indeed, so that's good. Secondly, a very minor one, just to move the pineapple forward, just one stud. I didn't want to make this any more complicated than it already was, so but that improvement was definitely worthwhile. Another one, very simple, was just to flip one of these parrots around so they weren't so uniform. And don't worry, I will be using the one that was left over from last time today, so no problem there. Another really minor one was just to make the orange slice in there one stud higher, making it look like there was several of them in location. So that was a nice little one. A popular one was to add one of these kind of inverse dome pieces onto the underside of our cocktail to make it look incredibly deep and generous, to be honest, and, well, dangerous, let's be quite frank about it. So that's a really good one as well. So, yeah, not too much different, but all subtle little changes that make it just that little bit better. So I love all of those. Thank you very much. And now a few amendments from a previous section of them all. Good. Well, previously, when we did the vinyl record store, you didn't particularly like the window setup that I had, with one side being closed and the other one being open on all three edges. So I did a quick order right after that part, and thankfully it arrived as part of the last brick haul. So what I've been able to do is put a pane of glass into that previously open window and add a pair of doors onto each of the two other sides, which I'm trying to open now. Quite hard to get hold of these handles, but there you go. So there's one, and here's the other one yet to attach. And I think that will close it in and should make a lot of you a lot more happy. And as door handles, I've used the pieces that I was going to use to decorate the entire fringe around the top. But I only had enough to do some door handles anyway, so it's worked out rather well. So they're from the set 41933 Music Dots bracelet from 2021. So I'm going to add those round the corner, and then that will work for everyone. And then there were two things that I came up with that I wanted to add onto these studs that I've opened up on the main area. A lot of suggestions have come in for scenes that need to go on the street, and maybe I'll do some of those when this is next to some road plates, of course. But one that I wanted to include straight away was firstly a busker, and for that I'm going to have the Series 21 violin kid, who looks very sweet indeed, trying to earn some extra pocket money. And I'm going to put him on this stud over here. And just to make it look even more realistic, I'm going to have his open violin case on one of these clips that doesn't sort of move around right next to him. And that one came from the Series 5 Gangster. So if that's there, I think that looks like a really realistic and sweet scene for the main area of them all. And then the final one that was one of mine as well was to add another directions board down here. We've got, you can just see some of the direction boards at the top of the stairs to tell you where to go, but I wanted another one at the bottom. So this is a sign with an arrow saying go up the stairs, and there you'll find the tram stop, and that is the sticker that came with the main square set, 60271. Then we've got the Happy World one, of course, for Happy World. That came with the Haunted Fairground set, 70432. And on the other side, we've got one more Pigsy Noodle one with a bit of the menu on there. And this particular one came with the 80012 Monkey Kid Warrior Mech from 2020, which looks great. All of the main dishes on there. And then, of course, our Tiki Bar, advertised by the third one that I just got just in time on that last brick haul from the Heart Lake City Resort set, 41347, with the two cocktails, coconut and pineapple, and of course the toasty sort of sandwich that no one ever orders. So I thought that was a good touch, and that can go there. It looks quite plain from this direction, but it looks really colourful from going up or down the street, which is when you'd most see it. So I like that a lot. Brilliant. Right, so that is all the amendments from previous suggestions. So here is your boudoing if you mentioned the doors. So let's get on with the new build of finishing that tiki bar. Whoop whoop. Now I want this final part of our mall to be more than just a normal tiki bar with just a few tables and people enjoying their drinks. I figure that this, right in its lofty position on the top of this build, looking over the rest of the entire city, maybe it should be the premier night spot of Brick Nottingham, and therefore it would need a DJ with a DJ booth and a dance floor, as well as those tables full of people enjoying themselves. So that is what I'm going to do. And to make such a wonderful build even better, I'm going to use quite an innovative building style. Last time I teased with these studs on the side of the bar here, and that is because we're going to be building the entire removable section here with studs on the side, using the sides of the brick as the flooring. So that should be really interesting as well. So I'm going to use dark turquoise as the main colour for the flooring. These studs are all going to have people or tables or whatever attached to them in due course. And I chose that colour because, well, I've got it chiming through all sorts of different areas of the mall, including those record shop windows and the decor around the Radio Shack, for example. So, yeah, I thought it'd be something that continue. And it's also got a very tropical vibe to it, if you ask me. So I think that fits very well indeed. So you can see I've just started building up a brown rim to a dark turquoise centre. And I'm going to have brown rim around the outside as well, and this is going to hold the railing essentially, because otherwise people are going to have one or two drinks and, well, fall off, and there's quite a long way down, especially on the street side, so I don't want that to happen at all. So there aren't all the bricks available in dark turquoise, so I've had to use lots of smaller ones wherever longer ones aren't available, but you can see it builds up quite quickly into a nice section of floor that will fit on like that. Looking good. Very nice. But for the next section, I wanted to have the dance floor. I wanted to have that kind of built into the floor, very much like the one on the film Saturday Night Fever, which everyone should know of, even if they haven't actually seen the movie, because it is so iconic. And for that dance floor, they had light up kind of tiles, I suppose, in it, where people dancing on it would have the best time of all. And I thought it'd be even more fun if that dance floor was sunken into the construction, so it's just a step lower, so we've got a bit more 3D texture. So what better shape for that than a round dance floor? And yes, the pieces were available in dark turquoise. So essentially the next section is an arch on the top, or the front as it will be, and this sort of inverse arch on the bottom to make that very round section that we can put in a dance floor to later. And into that as well, instead of using 1x1 bricks in certain places, I've used 1x2, so we've got connection points here and here for that recessed dance floor. So yeah, I think that's going to look absolutely great. So then I can build in the rest, which I've built into a assembly to save on time, to build the rest of our flooring. And you can see there are absolutely loads of studs on the outsides in that brown section to hold on to our railings. That's very important. We've got more sections of that lovely dark turquoise, and then we've got a rounded corner using curved slopes, first in dark turquoise and then in brown there, with tiles on the front, so it all looks nice and smooth. And all of these studs, very strategically placed, will be covered up in due course. So yeah, it doesn't quite settle down because of those ones there that are holding on the dance floor, but they'll go into the cavity above Happy World. And you'll see also I've just put a few tiles on the edge there and on the underside edge there. So when we try and locate this thing in position, it falls very quickly into the right place for sliding on. So there is our nightclub floor. But yeah, at the moment it's very dangerous indeed. So we better get that dance floor put in straight away. Well, I've got the Bee Gees buzzing around my head at the moment, singing Night Fever, just because I'm getting in the spirit of this build, putting our dance floor in that round section. So this is the best I can do to replicate that one that John Travolta is dancing on in that film. And I think it's a fair representation of it, really. Just loads of 1x1 tiles, except I have changed one here in yellow and one here in clear just to be studs, so I can attach two revelers to there and have them actually enjoying themselves on the dance floor. So that needs to go into this section here wow, that will look absolutely great, won't it? So I just need to work out how to attach it. And for that, I'm going to need two of these setups, which I've tried to make as sort of smooth looking as possible, and even maybe look a bit like air conditioning units for the Happy World side of things below. And essentially, I can put one of those on there and a second one on there to make, well, a bit more of the 3D structure. And then if I just flip this the wrong way up for a moment, I can put that in there, attaching to all four of these. Whoop, just pinged off a plate there. And then for strength, I can hold it in place with 4 corner tiles, and that means it's not going anywhere. And that kind of looks like 2 air conditioning units from the floor below, I think. I mean, it's a little ugly, but you're not going to be able to see that at all when it's in position like that. Yeah? But more importantly is the view from above. And that looks absolutely amazing, doesn't it? So there is our Saturday Night Fever dance floor. And what we really need onto that is a lady in incredible frock with a wonderful face, like she's really enjoying herself on one of those studs. So we'll have that. And then we'll have our very own John Travolta type character with a bit of a mullet going on, but it was the style then, but very smart otherwise. And he's really enjoying himself on the other stud. So yeah. Look at that. That looks absolutely great. So there is a recessed dance floor as part of our nightclub. And wow, that couldn't have come out better, really, could it? And it kind of doubles as a bit of an ugly but functional air conditioning unit for the kids in the floor below. Yes, so to those people that said it'd be very noisy in the bar because of the children, not when we've got the DJ in place. Right, so while we're here, let's add some of this fencing. So I've got it in a wooden style, so it continues that tiki theme. So there's one section there. And you can see I've just added round 1x1 bricks occasionally to give it a bit more 3D texture. And they're going to give a bit of strength in joining the dark turquoise section to that brown section here, here, and here on both sides. So I can push that down onto those studs, covering them up. And we've got a couple of connection points strategically positioned for things like parrots and drinks and stuff like that. And even more surprises soon. So if we push all of that down, I think that one needs to go down a bit better. Then yes, this is starting to get quite strong. Still quite tiki-y, but look at that view from above. That is absolutely great. And they look like they're having the best time. That's where I want to be. All right, we've got a dance floor, but now we need a DJ, and that's where DJ Kanaka comes in, who is the wonderful Series 11 Island Warrior. I've just changed his bone to a full-blown Islander headdress, and he's looking rather fantastic with those tattoos and so on. And just so I don't lose his fantastic mask, I've turned it backwards, so he's kind of wearing it as, well, a hood almost, isn't he? But we'll be able to see that when he's standing in his position as well. So it'll add to the decor. But yes, he's absolutely perfect, isn't he? So we'll put him to one side because we need to build his decks so he can play his records. And I've made this construction in a kind of tiki style. These will be the arms for the 2 record players. And I wanted it to look like it was absolutely packed full of records on the underside. That'll be perspective going off into the darkness. I know they're not quite big enough, but I think that looks quite good. Like there's even more detail packed into the scene. So these are just 1x2 plates with a tile on the top, and I can secure those in position with this plate here just to complete the bottom. So that looks good because he'll be standing in front of this. You really won't see it that much. And then got the controls for each record player, being these 1x1 tiles that only came in one set, being 76902, the McLaren Elva from 2021. And I got two of those on bricks and pieces because they were just absolutely perfect when I was designing this. So they look good. And then for the records, I'm using two from the video line. One is a purple one with a shooting star on, and the other one very appropriately has got palm trees on, so I thought that was perfect as well. And both of the play arms can be in position when he's mixing two of these records together. So I think that looks really good. And because we'll need speakers as well, I want this to double up, so I'm just again using a piece that was used a lot during the video series rather, and that was these pieces that do look like speakers. So they are blasting out the music onto the dance floor. So that is why these two bracket pieces are here to hold this set up. So it can just go straight onto there. I can add DJ Kanaka to his position as well, which is these two studs in there. Hopefully I can do that while you're watching. There we go. Yep, that's looking good. And we can see his mask over the edge there. And he looks like he's leading proceedings very well. It's quite high, that record deck, I suppose, but it needs to be to fit all the speakers in. Maybe I need to make a little plinth for him to stand on. Yeah, maybe that would be the best way around that. Anyway, for now, I'm going to leave him as is. I'm going to get that parrot that we had left over from last time and put that on this stud here. That'll add a bit of colour and texture to that edge. For this stud, I'm going to add a full-blown tiki torch on a stick with another flame coming out. I'll have to make sure that's going in the right direction to all the other ones, which will probably be about over there towards the harbour of Brick Nottingham. So that looks good. This one I need to save as I do this one and this one. So we've got one spare stud over there, which I can just put somebody's cocktail that they've either finished or maybe they've just left it there while they go for a dance. Maybe it's one of these guys. And then a couple of tables. So I'm going to put one there with 4 studs on so it can take loads of drinks, and one with just 1 stud on so it can take 1 drink. And I'm going to put that there. So that means all the rest of these are for either more decor or more people. So it'll be absolutely packed and stacked, as you'd expect. Fantastic. I'm really liking the look of this. It's shaping up like the place to be. Now, because I can't stop adding detail until something's arguably over full, I've decided to add even more tiki detail to the inside of this, just to make it look really Hawaiian-y and sort of islandy. And I was looking on the internet for inspiration a while back and found these fantastic tiki statues, and they are just so clever, using very simple palisade bricks for a kind of spiky mouth and 1x1 round bricks as eyes. And it's very important when you borrow somebody's idea to credit the original designers wherever possible. So a big shout out to somebody called Miro78 who made the original Tiki Hut design in January 2016. And I didn't want to copy his whole Tiki Hut, but I did love the statue out the front of it, which has inspired my very similar statue. But I've decided to add arms with weapons and bones in the nose of the second one that I'm going to show you in a minute, and spears and so on, to make mine even more special. So this is the base one, and he also had these palm leaves kind of attached to the back to make them stand out and really pop, like that was their headdress. I love that. I'm going to add this pair of cow horns to mine on the top, just for a bit of variety, looking great. And then the classic Islanders shield that I got very recently in a brick haul to one hand. Oh yes, that looks perfect. And a spear to the other. So he looks like a tribal warrior in full regalia. And I think you'll agree that looks very good indeed. So thanks very much again, Miro78. Now, I want 2 of these because I want these statues to adorn the inside of my club. So the second one, I took a bit more artistic license and made this fellow, who again has got the Islanders headdress on the top, and he's also got a bone through his nose. So he looks very fierce indeed. And for variety there, I'm going to use this shield that came with some of the more recent Ninjago sets. It's kind of got Godzilla on it, I think, but it's absolutely appropriate for our colour scheme, isn't it? So that can go in that hand of this one, and I'll give him a spear as well. So, yeah, the best thing with a good idea is to definitely use it, but to credit where credit's due. So here we go. Here are wonderful tiki statues, which are absolutely amazing for addition to our main floor. I don't know which way around I'm going to do them, but I thought I'd have one either side of the dance floor. So maybe one there, and then one on this side as well. And they'd be kind of like that. So how does that look? Wow, it looks very bright with that flash of lime. It looks very busy indeed. They're kind of squidged in now, and this will be the main area where people are standing and waiting to go on the dance floor for the song they like, waiting for the next Bee Gees hit. But that looks really good, and these statues, though a bit sort of stereotypical, are absolutely lovely. I especially like the mouth on the original Miro one. Brilliant! Really shaping up. Well, when we started this mall, the skate shop fast became my favourite part. A title it retained until, well, I think probably when we built Happy World, actually. I think that is just hilarious with its ball pit and so on. But now I think that's going to get knocked off the top spot by this, because already it is really good combined with the bar we already did last time. And so I think I better finish this off by adding a lot more details. And a place like this just needs loads of people, of course, to make it look really lively. So the first one I'm going to have just holding one of the coconut-based cocktails in this lovely Hawaiian shirt that came with the Queer Eye set. Maybe he's talking to the parrot on the edge there, so that corner gets filled up. Then this guy who maybe has just come in and wow, he's surveying the scene and he likes what he sees in this fantastic tiger skin jacket with bow tie. He looks wonderful, so put him coming in there. Then the first of the two tables, I've added a second one of these huge deep cocktails with the kiwi fruit in, and this lady, who appears to be on her own, seems to be looking very much forward to drinking that. So yeah, maybe she's just very, very thirsty. Who knows? But I think we've all seen a scene like that in real life. So yeah, that looks great. Yummy, come to mummy. Then on the next table, I was going to add one of each of the cocktails, just so they look like they're very popular on there, and have maybe a guy who's either not enjoying the music or wishing he was dancing as well as the guy on the dance floor. Just put him to one side, but he's wearing some very bright clothing. And then this young lady in her crop top, running towards the dance floor from the bar. So maybe the song that's just come on is her favourite. So I put her on that stud. So I don't want to get it too crazy full that you couldn't actually see all of the scenes. But here I think you can see the couple dancing, that wonderful dance floor, him enjoying a cocktail in relative peace on the edge there, the tiki statues, and the four people at the back with the tables, and the other tiki statue, tiki torch, and so on. And I think that is great, absolutely great. And I love the building technique to make that on the bottom. But it isn't finished. We've got one more piece to add for the crowning glory, and that is an awning all over the top of this with a continued Islander theme. Now, on a recent haul, I actually got the sail piece gifted to me unexpectedly that was the original Islanders sail, so I could have used that, but instead I'm going to use what I bought for the purpose because I think it fits slightly better for colour scheme, and that is this. The sail from the Moana set 41150, Moana's Ocean Voyage from 2017. And in a way, this is the single piece that inspired this whole build. So I really do have to be faithful to it and include it in the finished article. So if I put that to one side, how am I going to attach it? Well, I'm going to use 3 of these poles. So they're kind of like ski poles in my mind with a Technic connector on. And I'm going to put them on the 3 remaining connection points, being one over here, one over here, and one on this corner stud here. So I have to be very careful that I don't push our man over or whatever. There we go. Are you in position? Good. And the whole spacing of this and the building of it all throughout the design has been to accommodate these 3 holes as well. So it's been quite a tricky thing to accommodate. Which way around does it go? That way? Yeah, there we go. Otherwise it wouldn't have been very well accommodated, would it? So I have to be a bit careful in putting that on. And I've never seen this in, as you might be able to appreciate from the fact that it's so beautifully flat. I'm going to hold it in position with 3 of these 1x1 studs with the hole in the middle, just so it doesn't sort of pop off in transit. And that one on there. And I'm really looking forward to looking at the whole thing, because I'm focused on not catapulting pieces across the room. There we go. Wow. So, you know, it's more plain from above in the sense that it's covered by this awning, but I think it looks more realistic. And now you have to kind of peer in from the side and look at all those people enjoying themselves. It looks absolutely great, doesn't it? Oh, I'm so happy with that. I think this will be my favourite. And those shields, there's the Islanders shield and DJ Kanaka's headdress thing, and another shield in that gap there. A pink parrot. Wow. And then the sort of Moana symbol there for the ocean, I think it is. Can't remember now. But that looks great. And all on that dark turquoise colour. I think it looks absolutely great. So let's put that down so we can bring this back in. And all of that stuff on the underside, all of that gubbins can go into the space of Happy World on the floor below. And this, using its guide rails, can be slid into position and attached like that. So now it marries up with the top of the stairs where this guy's just appeared from. Ho, 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 ho. I love it when a plan comes together. And the bar, which this lady is clearly just running away from to catch that song of hers. Wow. Oh, that is really good. And I'm just so happy with that. This really innovative building style just makes it all the more special for me. An absolute crowning glory to our wonderful 11-part mall to add to the sign we did on the back last time. And you can tell from absolutely every angle in the Lego room, because this will probably be our view from the first standing hole. It'll be very interesting. Probably look like that from the door of the Lego room. And then from the second standing hole, we'll be looking at it more like that. Wow, wow, wow. That looks absolutely amazing. I'm so happy with that. You'll have to tell me what you think. And if you can even conceive of an improvement, I doubt it somehow. That looks brilliant. Well, I suppose the only thing that really remains is for me to put this in position with the rest of our mall. Unfortunately, it's quite an easy thing to fit in because it's all designed to go right up against the back and dovetail well. And wow, doesn't that look good? I'm going to move around my camera to give you a kind of, well, not quite 360, but probably 270-degree view. Doesn't that look colourful, interesting, and a happening place to be? It's definitely where I would head to if I was going to Brick Nottingham. And that awning on the top just looks really great. A different texture in the fact that it is a sort of cloth piece. And above that, of course, we've got our monkey and double palm trees and pineapple and all the rest of it. So, wow, I absolutely love that. It just goes to show that using colour needn't look like a complete mess. You know, sometimes we're convinced to use very sort of standard colours, all the tans and dark tans and so on, and maybe not mix too many colours together. I mean, this whole mall is covered in, well, probably all of the Lego colours, quite frankly, but I think it benefits from it. It's also caked in stickers. I know some of you don't like that, but I think you'll agree it works really well. And we've managed to demonstrate some real big collections of things like skateboards and tiles in the record store, and use some really interesting techniques like building on the side here and having loose pieces, of course, in Happy World. Oh, wow. Well, this is the main viewing angle from the second standing hole, and I designed the whole thing with that in mind because I wanted us to be able to see this side of this store, this side of this store, right into the box that is Happy World and our Tiki Bar, which we'll have to call Kanaka's or something like that. That sounds a bit dodgy. But also so we can see the wonderful 3D sign on the top of the radio store and right into that shop there for the noodles. I think the skate one would look good wherever we were seeing it from. So wow, I'm so happy with this mall. I'll have to do a video after the Christmas break, putting it into the city and showing you what all these views really do look like when it's in position, rather than just talking about them. But as for today's build, I'm incredibly happy with the DJ booth, that dance floor that we can't quite see from this angle, the canopy on the top, and the integration with the rest of the build and the bar and those tiki statues and all the rest of it. Not to mention the boy with the violin down there and our new sign. Wow, very, very happy indeed. Well, I'm ecstatic with how this mall has turned out. It has gone way beyond the expectations I had for it when I was designing it. It's definitely the biggest thing I've ever made. It definitely involves the most colours of anything I've ever made. And it definitely took the longest both to design, well over a year of sort of snippets of spare time, and well, 11 parts to even show it to you. So that just shows how much detail is involved. And a real thank you to all of you for the detail that you've helped me add with all of your suggestions. Definitely makes all of my builds a lot better. So I have to do a 12th part of this mall, actually putting it into the city, as I say, but that will have to wait until after the Christmas break, where I'm going to take a bit of time off. But another massive thank you to all of you who've supported the channel over the years. It is greatly appreciated, whether you're a member, a Patreon supporter, or just a viewer, because 30,000 subscribers is a massive achievement that I never thought I'd hit. I had sort of vague aspirations of maybe hitting 20,000, but 30,000, wow, long may it continue. I absolutely love this community and the positivity that comes from it. Really enjoy building for you and with you, quite frankly. So yeah, I'm very happy indeed. So as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome LEGO videos. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, well, I don't know what we'll be doing. I'm going to have a break for Christmas, so I'll get back to you when I've had that break and I know what the earth I'm doing. But yeah, do have a wonderful Christmas period and a happy new year. And I'll see you very soon. See you! Dooba-doo-boop, boop, boop, booba-doo, booba-doo-doo, boop, 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 boop. Boom, 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 boom.